Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka Coach MD. In my over 30 years of medical practice, I made it my goal to help people create strong minds, healthy bodies, and unshakable spirits. And that's why I launched the Coach MD podcast last year. Excited about it. This is the second season. There are going to be some changes in what I'm doing. Those will be announced, hopefully forthcoming. I may not be doing as many podcasts while those uh, things are in development, but as long as I am able, I will keep doing it and bringing you hopefully content that is relevant to what you're looking for. In my career, I really, uh, a lot of times went outside the box, went outside the medical box, went outside the textbook, and did my own research. And what I loved about uh, talking with people coming to my practice as patients, many times they knew much more than I did about certain, whether if they had a condition, about their condition, about supplements, and just a lot of cutting edge stuff that I frankly could not keep up with, and most doctors can't. And that's the reality. Many doctors will appear that they're experts, but the reality is that there's so much information out there now that a doctor really should be more of a guide and a coach and empower you to be able to navigate healthcare. So it's what you need for you, for your individual purposes. Um, and so, what I'd like to do in my first podcast of 2025 is show you what I do on a daily basis as far as supplementation goes. Now, this is not to say that if you take supplements, that's going to cure your ills. It's going to make you live a better life. If things are not great, if your mindset is not great, if things in your life, your circumstances are not going well. And I know from my experience that the two number one things that bring people into a doctor's office with physical ailments are actually not physical at all. They're one of two things mainly: lifestyle choices and emotional difficulties, stress. And those things cause a multitude of physical ailments. And so often we focus on the physical and totally forget about what really is causing it. And that is what our brain does, because our brain, our automatic brain, causes us to fight or flee danger. And if there are things, circumstances in our life that are stressful, that our brain is perceiving as dangerous, it is going to do whatever it takes by all means necessary to help you fight or flee that. And one of those ways, those methods, is focusing on the physical. Because think about it. If you focus on the physical, you totally ignore the dangerous, the threatening, the emotions that might be, or the circumstances that may make you feel vulnerable, and you're so ingrained in the physical. So that's one way the brain does that. So this is not to say that if you do all of what I'm doing, your life is going to be perfect. No. My purpose now, and everybody's purpose is different. I'm 65 years old, so I want to go into my later years. I want to have a health span. I want to have a longevity, but I want that longevity to be healthy. So the interventions that I do, which are daily, um, and they're a lot, okay, it's an investment, not so much of time, but money, financial, definitely, no way around it. But I feel that health span, it really helps me. And I feel very vibrant and alive and vital at my age. Sometimes even more so than I did at my younger age. So generally, I get the day started. When I wake up, I will pray and meditate. Um, and a lot of that now is, since I'm on a different schedule. When I was working in my clinical practice for the better part of 30 years, I would meditate on a daily basis. And that means I would get ready for work. I'd take a shower, I'd meditate for 10 to 20 minutes. then I'd get dressed and out the door. Now I don't have to get out the door so fast because I'm on more of a remote schedule, so I can walk my dog in the morning, and I love doing that. And that is my meditation. That's when I pray. That's when I meditate. That's when I'm insightful, and that's when I come across many ideas that um, are empowering for myself and my loved ones, and hopefully my audience as well. So I start the day with that, and often I'll start the day with a tablespoon of this particular apple cider vinegar. And all the interventions that I do, I balance it between research and as also with the idea of above all, do no harm. So if I think something, the research may not be quite there, but the benefit harm ratio is favoring the benefit with low risk, I will go for that. So not everything that I'm doing is completely ingrained and supported by research. I know what it does for me. I know how it feels. So that's a what they call an N of one. Okay, that I'm experimenting on myself, and I start my day with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This particular brand. These are all the brands that I use, and a tablespoon of organic lemon juice. And if I miss that, what I'll do is my midday drink, which I'll go over in a minute. Um, I and I'll show you how I mix that. If I like today, I didn't take the apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, and I mixed that in my midday drink, which I'm going to go over in a few minutes. Now, I exercise is extremely important, especially as you age. Aging, we lose muscle mass. Sarcopenia is the medical term for losing muscle mass. So, no way around it. The hormones change as we get older, and we lose muscle mass. So, you got to do something. If you don't do anything, you're going to age. Well, we're all going to age, but you're going to age in a way that's going to increase the likelihood of infirmity, of what we call in medicine morbidity, which is illness. And I want to limit that the best I can. So, exercise is, I find, for me personally, a lot of research bears this out too, but I'm talking about personally in my life. Exercise is the one intervention that I feel is the greatest intervention. And it, of course, takes a lot more work than just taking a pill, but it increases blood flow and uh, blood flow to the brain cognitively. It helps, and it helps in all respects. And I do vigorous workouts. The workouts I prefer is um, I work out in a CrossFit gym. You don't have to do that. But so before I do work out, which is 3 to 4 days a week, I will prepare a drink that I drink about a half an hour before the class starts. And the base of that drink is a uh, is this, which is caged pre-workout, and it's stim free. You see that stim free? That means that it has no caffeine in it. A lot of the pre-workout drinks have a lot of caffeine, upwards of 200 milligrams of caffeine. I don't need that. I don't feel I need that. In the past, I've had my heart rate go fast, which is there's a term called SVT or supraventricular tachycardia. Sometimes when I work out, I might feel that happening. And so, and I'll explain to you what I do to abort that, well, not abort it, well, to abort it, but to prevent that. But I think I'd have more of a likelihood of that happening if I took something with stimulant. Now, this has a lot of ingredients in it, okay? Um, a lot of ingredients. I'm not going to go through every one, but the main thing is it has creatine, monohydrate. Creatine has been shown in studies. It's borne out. It's a very safe supplement. It has 1.5 grams of creatine in it. It also has some other breakdown products that help with circulation, that help with vasodilation, meaning the blood vessels getting larger to give blood flow, to enhance blood flow, to increased nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is a compound that causes vasodilation. I take a couple things in addition to that caged product that will assist with the nitric oxide, and that's this. It's a beet. Beets are the main ingredient here, and there are a lot of beet supplements. This is the one I like that causes uh, increased vasodilation. Now, I like to take things that I can tell are working, right? These supplements are working. In the last 2 years since I've been taking them, my muscle mass has increased noticeably. And my workouts are the same. I'm getting stronger, but I see the difference. And with the nitric oxide product, this and also L-arginine, um, L-arginine is an amino acid, and that's also acts as a vasodilator. Um, when I notice when I take the nitric oxide, sometimes I get flushed. And that means if you get flushed, that means you're dilating your blood vessels in the face. That's you're getting red in the face that your blood vessels are dilated. It's working. So if it's working there, I know it's working elsewhere. And in my uh, workouts, I know it helps me and it helps with oxygen exchange. I do take also a salt supplement. I didn't bring it here with me today. The one I use is by Isogenics, and it gives you electrolytes with no calories, and it gives 450 milligrams of salt, sodium per serving. Now, there are uh, other brands. Some of the popular ones are LMNT and Salt, SALTT, or I think it's SALTT. They have per serving, I think it's 950 for the salt and 1,000 for the LMNT. I don't need that much salt. I think the 450 milligrams with the Isogenics product per packet helps me a lot. Now, why do I take it? I'm going to give you a little bit of physiology instruction right now, or education right now. The heart is a muscle. It's a pump. It pumps blood to the entire body, and the part of the heart that helps it is the contraction of the heart. So when you hear boom, 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 that's the opening and closing of the valves. Boom, 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 boom. And as that's happening, the heart is expanding and contracting. As much as the heart expands, it has more, and it's a muscle, it's a pump. If it expands greatly, it's going to contract greatly. And by contracting greatly, it's going to have to work less itself, less of the push. It's going by the momentum of the contraction to push that blood out. So that blood leaves the heart from the aorta to the rest of the body. So let's say you're working out and in your left ventricle, that's the left side of the heart, that's the pump heart that pumps everything in the left ventricle is pumped to the rest of your body. If you don't have a lot of blood in that pump, well, it's not going to expand that greatly and it's going to contract not that greatly. So that means that in order to get more bang for your buck for your pulse, okay? So every pulse, to get more bang for that, you want it to expand more. So that means that you need to be well hydrated. It's very important that you hydrate greatly before you work out because you want enough fluid in your body to expand that pump. So when the blood is pumped out, it doesn't have to work that hard to get it to pump out. I mean, that to get it to pump out. So every time it fills up, you want it to have enough to fill up so it doesn't have to work so hard. And when I said that I sometimes would get this SVT, supraventricular tachycardia, it means my heart was working too much. It means I wasn't hydrated enough. So before every class, and salt, the salt supplement helps your body retain fluid. So it helps keep it in the blood vessels. So when it returns to the heart, there's more returning to the heart. The heart expands and contracts in a way that it's not working so hard. It's more efficient, and that will help with oxygen exchange and all sorts of things. So before I work out in the morning, I will have 24, even 36 ounces of water in addition to a 16-ounce drink that I mix up that I just showed you. Usually it's about, I'd say 30 to 40 ounces of fluid about an hour before I work out, or well, 16 of those ounces is 30 minutes before I work out. But in the morning, I'm hydrating, and that's to avoid anything. So it gives my heart doesn't have to work so hard. So that's the reasoning for it. Now, midday, so my morning, I generally do intermittent fasting for the last 20, 25 years. That works for me. I feel great. I don't eat before I work out. I take my drink. I don't eat anything in the morning. First meal of the day is around noontime. And what I do at noontime, I take some more vitamins. Okay. So I'll go over the vitamins that I take. And it's going to freak you out a little bit because there's a bunch, but I take them once a day. And this way I can make sure that I get them. Now, as I said before, I like to take supplements, the majority of supplements, one from good manufacturers that I trust, two, that I actually know what I'm taking them for, and I'm just not willy-nilly. Three, they're safe, and those are the main things. So um, sometimes you don't, you just, I've heard, read certain anecdotal studies. The research isn't firmly in place, but it feels right to me in a sense. And I feel good taking them. So whether it's placebo effect or not, it works for me. And as long as, again, the risk benefit ratio favors the benefit, then I'm okay with it. So, first off, I'm 65 years old. I'm a male, right? I got a prostate. That prostate in men grows. It's annoying. And women, you don't maybe not realize how annoying it is, but it is very annoying. What happens with an enlarged prostate is it presses it. The prostate is a golf ball or walnut size, probably a larger walnut size uh, organ in a man that sits below the bladder, and the bladder has a tube that goes out of it, and that leads out to so you can pee, so men can pee, and you know what they pee out of. I don't have to say that, right? But as it's that tube is leading out, here's your bladder up here. As the tube is leading out, there's a little walnut shaped organ that sits right there. And that organ grows. And if it grows, as it does, it pinches on that pipe that leads out of the bladder. So it closes off. So, um, aside from surgery, there's not much you can do about that, except for maybe taking some supplements. And there are medications. I prefer to take the supplements. I tried some of the medications, didn't like them, didn't like the side effects. That gland is also responsible for semen, to dump semen into the and concentrate ejaculate. So that's part the main reason for that the prostate. That's why it's sitting right by the tube because that tube doesn't only contain urine, it contains semen when a man ejaculates. So um, it grows. And what I've done is I've started taking nutrients that support that, and they have helped. Not 100%, maybe I don't know, 50%, maybe 40%. Okay. Still not what I would like it to be, believe me. But they do help. And the first one that I'll talk about is prostate formula, ultra prostate formula by Life Extension. Has a bunch of different ingredients in it. You don't really need to break it down. They all support the prostate. Saw palmetto is one of those ingredients. I actually take additional saw palmetto, as you'll see, in addition to what's in this. Zinc, I take this again from uh, Life Extension. It has PQQ in it. which is mitochondrial support. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell, and they form ATP, which is the energy source that we use, that we convert everything into ATP, whether it's fat, whether it's sugar. It goes through certain cycles and it produces energy in the mitochondria. The mitochondria actually has its own genome. It has its own. It's a fascinating organ, and um, its own DNA, I should say. So it's very important. And zinc is also supports the process as well as the immune system. And I take one of these a day. Um, in addition, um, now this is a little controversial, and those who have taken the V scene, I won't say the full name of it because some of these are still censored, but the COVID-19 V scene, those who have taken it and or who have had COVID-19, the spike protein is something that causes hypercoagulability. That means the propensity to cause blood clots. And so what it's thought that possibly the V scene of the COVID causing antibody response to the spike protein might have a similar response. So I take this called nattokinase, which is a Japanese formulation, actually a compound that's from Japan, and it helps support blood circulation. So it's not only for those who have had the V-scene to prevent blood clotting, but I take it because it's a good supplement to take anyway to keep your blood flowing, so to decrease blood clotting. And I take one of these a day. This is beta sitosterol. Beta sitosterol is a phytosterol. That means it's a cholesterol-like mimicking product. It looks like cholesterol, but it's not. It's a phytosterol, meaning um, plants don't have cholesterol in them, but they have phytosterols. The sterol is like a cholesterol ring, and it's a nutrient that helps the prostate. It might help cholesterol somewhat. I don't find that, but I haven't seen that so much. But meaning it's a competitive inhibitor. So meaning if you take something with cholesterol and you take beta phytosterol like beta sitosterol, it it may compete with the absorption of the regular cholesterol, absorb this instead of the regular cholesterol. So that's something that I take as well. Um, I take this trimagnesium. Now, magnesium is a kind of a super supplement, right? Because there's so many things that it does. Um, I've done a reel on this, I've done a blog on it, and there are certain uh, different components, different magnesiums that are good for certain things. Some are good for like magnesium chloride, good for the GI tract to keep you regulated. There's other magnesiums that help with stress and anxiety and sleep. And so this trimagnesium is a balanced form. And so I get that on a daily basis. I take one of these a day. Okay, this is a fish oil that's actually a prescription fish oil. It's 1 gram um, per capsule. And this is Vasipa, VASCEPA. Vasipa was the brand name. This is the generic. And it's a fish oil capsule. It's pure EPA. EPA, there's EPA and DHA. And I'm going to go over the DHA in a second. EPA fish oil is thought to help with the cardiovascular system more, and um, it's thought also in those people. Like for me, I had a certain type of cholesterol profile in my early 30s, which is a type 4 hypercholesterolemia, which tends to have a low HDL and a higher triglyceride. I started taking fish oil in my early 30s. That completely reversed. Now, I'm not prescribing this for that, but Visipa was indicated by the FDA. That's why it's prescription for those people who have hypertriglyceridemia, because it helps with that. So it would figure that it probably did help me. And so I started taking it in my early 30s. I still take it now. I decided to give myself the prescription because I know it's pure EPA. There are plenty of other combinations of EPA and DHA. And generally speaking, if you take a combination, you want kind of like a 3-to-1 where there's three times EPA, one DHA, or at least 2-to-1, or at least 3-to-1, or of EPA to DHA. Um, so the DHA that I take um, is Opti DHA, and I take this 3 times a week. The reason why I take it 3 times a week is DHA could increase cholesterol, but I think the benefit of it far outweighs the risk of increasing cholesterol, because there's also some disagreement on how that might affect you. As far, I think the benefit of Opti DHA, especially for cognition, if there's a age-related decline in cognition, in thought processes and memory, Opti DHA is very good for the nervous system. So the EPA is, this is generalization, but is more for the cardiovascular system. The the Opti DHA is more for the nervous system, and this is a good one to take. It has 500 milligrams of DHA in it, and I take this about 3 times a week. Um, I just want to tell you that I didn't learn any of this in medical school. I have to tell you, zero, right? I was in practice for 30 years. I saw things that, I just didn't feel right about certain medications that, all we did was write prescriptions. And I felt like I wanted to do something differently for myself, and I didn't want to take these medications. So I had to do a deep dive, and I did seminars. I did my own research, and this is how I became knowledgeable on these things. I just actually want to mention one. It's a prescription here that I prescribe for myself. It's called Acarbose, ACARB as in boy, OS as in Sam, E. I will take that if I know that I'm going to be a bad boy and I'm going to be eating sugar or candy or those foods that will spike my blood sugar. How do I know it's going to spike my blood sugar? I wore a Freestyle Libre patch, which I can talk about, which I have talked about on my YouTube channel and so many other places. And I wore that for 2 weeks. And I did that multiple times, and I saw that the certain foods that would increase my blood sugar, simple carbohydrates do it. Triscuit crackers would do it. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that those would rate. And everybody's different. I'm not saying this would happen to you. Triscuit crackers. I used to love them. I don't eat them anymore. But I love pizza. I don't eat a lot of it. But when I'm going to eat pizza and I want good pizza, some of you may know I'm from New Haven. New Haven style pizza, best in the world. If I'm going to eat Sally's or Pepe's Pizza, I'm going to take some acarbose, because what it does is it blocks the enzyme that breaks down sugar. So the sugar does not get absorbed into the body. It's a hack. And I'm not telling you that this is what you should do. Talk to your doctor about it. I cut it in half, and it is very effective. There are other apple cider vinegar actually helps a bit with that, and there are other supplements, but nothing works quite like this. So some of the other foods, just kind of an aside, uh, potatoes. I love potatoes. So mashed potatoes. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe how much those spiked my blood sugar. Grapes. I had only 8 grapes. That shot up my blood sugar 30 points to over 140. Just 8 grapes. So there are certain things that get broken down the sugar very quickly in the body. Plain white rice. So if you're going to eat like rice, definitely combine it with a protein, because that limits the absorption. It decreases the rate of absorption, so it won't happen as fast. Um, So yeah, those are the things just, and so that's why I take the acarbose. So continuing with my lunch supplements, and I put them in a weekly container, and I'll drink it down with a glass of water. I got used to it, but getting back to the prostate, I take additional saw palmetto extract, and this is a lower dose. I don't take more than 600 milligrams of saw palmetto a day. 600 to 900, I think, is the max. And this is another prostate pro. Like I said, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this, okay? Because I want to take care of this issue. And I don't want surgery for it. And who knows though, if it has to happen, those of you know me know I've had hip replacements. So sometimes you do need to do things. You do need to take care of things. But so far, so good. This is helping me, this combination. Um, I also take vitamin D3, 5,000 international units, and I monitor my D3 level so it doesn't go too high. I take this anywhere from 4 to 7 times a week. In the wintertime, closer to every day. And that's another thing is I always take a vacation day on my supplements. So my supplement pill box is it has seven different chambers in it. And I will I'll take those 7 days. The day that I'm out, I'll skip the next day. When I run out, skip the next day, refill it, and then I start the process. Because just like anything else, you might want to clean the receptors off. Um, and this is an aside also for those who think that supplements don't work, they don't do anything. I'm just going to give you an example of when you take a blood pressure medication or a cholesterol medication. Just look how tiny those pills are and the power that they have. Now, we're in the environment every day. Don't you think we're taking microscopic doses, not even microscopic, I mean, micro doses of things that are not good for us? So I'm doing this in a way to kind of counteract that. I feel it's doing that for me. Not telling you, you may think I'm a quack, all right? This stuff works for me. I feel good. I'll go up against, most 65-year-olds, and I think I'm doing darn well. I'm not attributing it all to this. Believe me, it's a whole package of mind, body, and spirit. Good genetics also helps, but yeah. So I missed one from my other batch here, and that's a multivitamin. Um, Rainbow Light Men's One. It's a high potency multivitamin, has a lot of ingredients in it. It's a good manufacturer. Um, some people will say I'm just giving myself expensive urine. Well, again, I weigh the risks and the benefits. And to me, low risk, potential high benefit, that's the choice I'm going to make. And, so that's what I'm doing. Um, I take a probiotic, this one orthobiotic, and I take that twice a week. A lot's been talked about the microbiome. Everybody's an expert on the microbiome. Oh, now it causes cancer, it causes depression, it causes everything. And just take this uh, probiotic and you'll be cured. No, wrong. Okay, I don't know. I'll be honest. I know it's important. We have more bacteria in our body than we do cells. So obviously, we have active living species in our body. This doesn't have to be refrigerated, the orthobiotic. I take twice a week, and it's a good one. It's a good balanced one. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to balance your microbiome, or you're going to be 30 years younger, or your depression is going to be cured, or your cancer. I don't know. And I don't really feel anyone has really their finger on the pulse of exactly what you have to do. So I'm hedging my bets. I'm going to continue studying the research. And if things change, I'll let you know what I think. I also take this green tea extract. Uh, it's a powerful antioxidant. Now, it's a It's an antioxidant, which is considered a polyphenol antioxidant, which is kind of a whole food antioxidant. And I'm going to talk a little bit about antioxidants when I go over my midday drink in a minute. But it's a uh, we're attacked on a daily basis by toxins, and the way that toxins work is they oxidize and they kill things. That's what oxidation does. Like it kills your hose if you leave it out, or it rusts your bike. That's killing things. Okay, it's stealing electrons and it's oxidizing. So this prevents that. And so I take a green tea extract, and it's decaffeinated. And yeah, I'm going to get to the caffeine part in a second. Okay, what do we got? Okay, I got one, the quercetin and a bromelain, bioflavonoid. And this again is a polyphenol antioxidant, helps with so many different things, um, from lung function to joint health, so many different things. I take one of these a day. Okay, moving right along here. Now I'm recording this. It is about midday, and I got this 20-ounce blender bottle because I what I'm gonna introduce to you now is a whole slew of additional things I do in the midday, which I feel really aid in my longevity and me feeling healthy. And I don't take anything that I'm going to overdose on. A lot of people say that vitamins are dangerous because you can overdose on them. Generally speaking, fat soluble vitamins, those are the things that get stuck in your fat that aren't uh, water soluble, meaning ability to pee out. Those are the things that could be dangerous, or things that can't be broken down. Most of the amino acids can be broken down. Those are the protein. So what I take, the base part of my drink, I take 20 grams of collagen, 22 grams of collagen every day, and this is one that I take, a collagen complete, that has uh, 10 grams of collagen, but it also has a lot of other stuff. And why do I take the other stuff? Well, it has in it um, chondroitin. It has in it glucosamine. You may have heard chondroitin and glucosamine for joint health. And there's a lot of studies that support that it is helpful in joint health. And as I get older, I want as much help as I can get. And I've had I had the hip replacement for osteoarthritis, arthritis in my left hip. That was from an injury. So I want to prevent arthritis in other joints. And I've had injuries that doctors have said, oh, that's going to turn into arthritis in 5 years. Well, not with what I'm doing. It hasn't turned into arthritis. So I feel that what I'm doing is helping. So this has also in it hyaluronic acid, which is a building block of cartilage. And the cartilage is the shock absorber between joints that helps, and that's what arthritis is, the breakdown of that shock absorber. And it also has bromelain, papain, and protease, which are enzymes that break down inflammation, basically. So they are enzymes that decrease the inflammation that one might have in the joint. So that's one of the products that I mix up in this blender. There's a lot. So you have to get a good blender with a metal, one of those metal things that actually, and it really works. You got to shake it up, but you'll see what the just the vast amount of things I put in this. This is marine collagen, which is 10 grams of pure collagen from wild caught fish. And I take a scoop of that, which is 10 grams. My wife is more or less a vegan and doesn't want to take the other collagen, which is uh, bovine derived or from cattle. This is from fish source. Then I'll take a creatine monohydrate chew. Okay, I already took one today, actually before I worked out, but it's a chew that looks like this. This is sugar free and it tastes good. It doesn't have any artificial sweeteners in it, and it tastes really good. And it gives you um, 1.25 grams of creatine in just one chew. And a lot of people say that for your creatine, you have to load it and you have to take 20,000 grams. I'm sorry, 20 grams, 20,000 milligrams, or, and then take 5 grams a day. I don't take that. I take anywhere between 1.25 and uh, 3 grams a day. That's not every day. I take creatine every day, but it ranges in that range. So on days I'm working out, I take a little bit more, and those I'm not, I take one of those chews, which is 1.25. Also, what I mix in is urolithin, Mitapure, a packet of this. There's been some studies, okay? I don't think there've been enough. And I don't think the N, meaning the number of people that have been studied, is really enough. But I there's for me, there's no risk to taking this. And what it's supposed to do is help muscle strength. It's supposed to support the mitochondrial, help increase your muscle strength, maybe muscle mass, and it's important again in the aging adult to support that. So I take that. I don't know that it's helped me, honestly, more than some of the other stuff I'm taking. It's hard to parse out. Some of the stuff I really see a difference. Others, I know that there's low risk, so I take it because the potential benefit is high, and that's why I take the Urolithin. Now, I like this particular company, Gaia Products. They're organic, and this is the everyday adaptogen. Adaptogens, some people recommend not taking an adaptogen every day. This one is blended so you could take it every day. I like it. An adaptogen helps with stress, it helps with the immune system. And I like to take blends of whether it's a mushroom blend, which just has some of it in it, whether it's some of the Ayurvedic blends like with ashwagandha, astragalus. Those are things that can support the immune system and help with overall energy and management of stress. So help the adrenal glands so they don't respond so greatly with the fight or flight. Another Gaia blend that I like is a turmeric boost. Now the turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory, and there are so many studies that support turmeric as far as joint health, as far as, dare I say, anti-cancer, cancer prevention, immune function. So good. And again, whether you believe it or not, there's zero risk to this. So I take 2 scoops of this a day, this particular brand. It also has ginger in it, which is another spice, which has been shown to have incredible benefit for overall health, vitality, and immune system function. Over here is another a brand, not same brand, different product, maca powder. As you can see, for athletes, weekend warriors, and physically active people. It's also maca it has been touted. Uh, it's from the Peruvian Andes, and it's been taken for thousands of years for overall vitality. If you look at any libido enhancing product, it's going to have maca in it. Need I say more? It does a lot of different things, supports a lot of different things. I feel it can't hurt me. So, have I noticed a tremendous difference? It's hard. I take a lot of things. It hasn't hurt me. I think it's probably helping in a lot of aspects of my life: vitality, endurance, strength. And I take that in, again, mixing up this drink once a day. Okay. One I just started taking. This is it's called the best oops, upside down. The best daily ever. This was formulated by Dr. Gina Nick, who I interviewed on my podcast a few months ago. And the main product is glutathione. And I encourage you to go to my podcast on that because we do a deep dive into glutathione, which is one of the most potent. Oh, and it's a pixie stick. So meaning most glutathiones are very poorly absorbed because glutathione is a tripeptide. That means it's three different amino acids. When you take amino acids, they get broken down almost immediately by protease in your stomach. This is different. So studies of this particular glutathione show that it does actually enhance glutathione levels. And it's a powerful antioxidant. Antioxidants are to prevent oxidation. And so your doctors will say to you, it doesn't work. That's bogus. It's you know, it's crazy. Give you expensive urine. It's hocus pocus. Don't believe it. Well, I do believe it. Why do I believe it? Well, why do do doctors, oncologists tell their patients when they're going through radiation or chemotherapy, first thing they tell them, stop your antioxidants? Well, if they don't work, who cares? Why, if they don't really decrease oxidation, why stop them? Because radiation, the way it works to kill cancer cells, it causes oxidation. It oxidizes the cancer cell. What does chemo do? It kills cells by oxidizing them. So if you're taking antioxidants, they are admitting that they work. So I'm going to take them because, again, benefit risk ratio favors the benefit. So that's the best daily ever, which is the tastes really good, actually. Very tart, no sugar added. I mix it up again in my super drink here, and it's good. I also add a couple. Now I don't drink caffeine. Not that I think it's bad for me. That coffee's bad for me. And if you drink coffee, it could be actually good for you in some cases. But I tried to like coffee. I tried. I really did. And the last time I really tried it was when I was a senior in college, and we were driving up from Fort Lauderdale after our spring break. And my buddy and I were dropped off by a friend in the middle of New Jersey. It was like crazy. It was surreal, actually. But there was a diner. We were going to take a train, but the trains were running very infrequently at that time. So it was a diner. And if there was any time I was going to drink coffee, I said to my friend, this is it. I tried. I just couldn't take it. I don't taste. I couldn't stand the taste. So later on, my daughters tried to get me into into it again. And they say, Dad, you got to try this Starbucks. Look at this. And it was one of those really, it tasted delicious, but it was so bad for me. Like, if I got to do this to my coffee, forget it. But I do find myself in the afternoon feeling like I need a little bit of pep. So what I'll do is I'll take these peak teas. These are our packets of tea. This is ginger fasting, it's called, and they come in packets, and you don't have to heat it up. I take it and I put it in that drink, and it tells you on the side how much you know the the caffeine level is, and I'll do one of those. Sometimes I'll combine them, and I'll take this is matcha as opposed to maca. Matcha, this is ceremonial grade matcha, and it has a little bit more caffeine. It also tells you how much L-theanine it has in it. L-theanine is the component of green tea which is really the medicinal or the beneficial part of it. And that helps with stress. It helps with, you know, counterintuitively, it can help with energy. So it kind of calms you down, but it gives you more vitality. And it also tells you how many polyphenols it has in it. And as you may remember, I said the polyphenols are the those ingredients that are natural antioxidants. They're not like vitamin E. A lot of the arguments of vitamin E and vitamin A, and that they're synthetic, but these are kind of whole foods. These are in the actual food. That's why the polyphenols that you get from the turmeric or the matcha or some of the green tea extracts, those are, I feel, are more potent or uh, uh, more powerful or more desirable antioxidants. So that's what I do. I'm gonna take another sip of that. This there. I take this over, there's no rhyme or reason. When I'm working, as I said, I work mostly remotely. So while I'm by my computer, I'm sipping this, and it really helps. Um, Now, getting to when I'm getting ready for bed, it runs in my family. My mother had it. I have it. Esophageal reflux. Okay, they made it a disease. Heartburn became a disease about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that unleashed blockbuster pills. So we define heartburn as a disease. And not only did we define it as a disease, we doctors said, well, if you don't treat it, you're going to get esophageal cancer. So it's a disease now and it causes cancer, heartburn. So what do you need to do? You need to take the proton pump inhibitors. First, it was Zantac and Pepsid. To me, those are good. Okay. Those occasionally, once in a while, as on an as needed basis, those are fine. They don't totally cut the acid production in your stomach. Whereas the PPIs, the Prilosec, the Previcids, the propulsive, not the propulsives, um, some of the other ones, they will, omeprazole is the generic, they totally cut the acid production in your stomach. These have run havoc on the body. These are very bad for you. I will go out on a limb. I'm not telling you what to do, but if you're taking these medications, you got to find some way to come off of it. Your traditional doctor is probably not equipped to advise you how to come off of it. But there are so many studies, and not I didn't need studies to tell me it. Okay. I just intuitively, it just didn't seem right. And what I'll just quickly, so what do they do? The 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 PPIs cut the acid. You need acid in your stomach to break down food. That's one thing. Okay. You need acid to maintain a proper balance of your microbiome, the good microbiome, bacteria in your gut. When you cut the acid, you allow for bad bacteria to overgrow. Uh, there's so many different, just look it up, dangers of proton pump inhibitors. You'll get a laundry list, and most of them are not just to scare you. Believe me, I saw it in my practice. Very reluctant to put people on PPIs. Sometimes they're necessary in the short term, never more than 2 to 3 months. So what do I do for my GERD? Okay. I take this life extension product, Esophacool. I take two of these before I go to sleep, along with Esophageal Guardian, and I take two of those with about 2 ounces of water, and I'll swallow them. And what do they do is they will kind of form a barricade in the stomach. So when I lie down at sleep at night, the contents of my stomach don't come up and give me heartburn, affect my throat. I've been doing this now for several years. It's the thing that's worked the best for me. honestly. And I do it religiously every night. So these are some of the things that I do, and I don't think I missed anything. Oh, I did miss one thing. Oh, I don't have it here. Uh, oh, in my drink here. Shoot, I missed it. Branch chain amino acids. It's from Metagenics, the product. It's branch chain amino acids. Branch chain amino acids are three amino acids that are valine, leucine, and isoleucine, which are very important for support of healthy muscles and to help, especially after you exercise, to help your muscle uh, grow, stay strong, and to limit losing muscle. That's Metagenics, BC, branch chain amino acid, BCAA. Let's see. I think that's about it. Right. So I know it's very overwhelming. Feel free to, watch this, slow it down. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out to me. I'll be very happy to see if I could help you with anything. And I'm so grateful that you've decided to tune in to the Coach MD podcast. Um, it's really heartwarming, and it's my love. I love to educate. I love to empower you so you can be the best person, the healthiest person that you can be, and the strongest and most positive and vibrant and living life the way we're supposed to be living life. Nobody knows why we're here. I feel we're blessed to be here. I thank my Creator God every day for that blessing. And again, I don't know why we're here, but I know one of my missions, if I'm blessed, if I'm given that honor, that privilege to be here on earth, it's most important for me to be the best person I can be to myself, to my family, and to live the best life I can be. I can, because that's all we can do. And you don't have to go out and save the world. You have to make sure that your own house is in order. And your own house starts with your body and the choices that you make, because you can't reach for the stars until you have both feet planted firmly on the ground. That's what I like to say. So until next time, I'm Dr. Charles, aka Coach MD, urging you to stay strong in mind, in body, and in soul. Bye for now.